好，那么接下来我们有请下一位参赛选手，他的名字是 Kellen Lau Welcome。
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kayla Lau, and today I'm going to tell you how to manage our daily stresses. I started public speaking at around 7 years old, so I've gotten lots of practices. But even now, I can still feel the anxiety and pressure every time I'm on stage. Even now. We all have stressful moments in our life, whether it is homework not done or a project due soon. We can't make the stress vanish from thin air, but we can find ways to reduce it. But before we get to that, let's first get a better understanding of what is stress and how it affects us. Stress is the demand on our brain caused by a state of worry or mental tension. There could be many reasons why someone could be stressed. For example, it could be because the person is facing a huge change in life. It could even be because of the type of food you eat. Food can also affect how easily you are to get stressed. Foods such as alcohol, caffeine, and sugary foods and drinks could cause you to be more easily stressed. Sugary foods and drinks can affect your mood, because it triggers your stress response because of the sudden rise and drop in blood sugar. Stress may be momentarily or last a long time. Both have horrendous effect on your body. Short-term stress may cause you headaches, stomach aches, chest pain, rapid heartbeats, and etc. Long-term stress may affect you by causing you to have depression, insomnia, headaches, anxiety, and other problems. So how do we reduce it? Although we can't just press a stop button and stop completely, we can find ways to avoid it. You can start by getting a well-balanced diet. You can also take more sleep and also exercise regularly as well. And if you're already stressing out, try taking a deep breath and meditating. You can also take a walk outside and listen to some music, whatever that will help calm you down. And if those doesn't work, try talking to a friend or family members. Seeking help isn't anything shameful. Instead, doing nothing and bottling it all up will only make things worse. It's like carrying a weight that gets heavier and heavier as time goes fast. Sharing burden won't just be helpful to you, but to all those who worries and wants to help you. In the future, you may face difficulties in life, but sometimes taking a deep breath and keeping a clear head might help much more than you think. Thank you.
那么接下来我们有请下一位参赛选手，她就是 Emily Wang。
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Emily. I am 15 years old, and I just finished my second year of high school at Humberside Collegiate Institute. During school, I am in the Asian Heritage Club, the math team, and some sort of sports team, which I haven't gone to in like months. And outside of school, I am always hanging out with my friends or my parents over there. And today, I want to talk about the effect social media has on our food choices, and of course discuss my personal strategies to combat those challenges. So this is a table of contents. I just did my little intro, and we're going to move on to influences of social media and challenges from social media, strategies for healthier eating, and practical applications, and a little wrap up of everything. So if you want to take a look at this table over here, you can see that I've included an infographic of every single social media that I've used. So from 2020 to 2022 is around the time where I had my first phone, so I can actually start collecting these data. And I've included 3 main platforms, which is TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. These are just some of the platforms that I have the most screen time on. And as you can see, for example, Instagram has a really consistent and rather high increase of food-related contents since like forever. And another example you can see is TikTok from 2020 to 2021 has a surge of increase on food challenges, and I can infer from that is during the quarantine where everyone is at home and they aren't able to meet up with one another, it's a way for them to stay connected virtually online. And by tracking these data and engagement numbers over on the last column, it's a way for me to keep track of the trends and growth over time. And here's a screenshot of Hua Chat. Hua Chat on TikTok has been very popular for the past few months. I've received a couple of these videos on my For You page, and this specific title, like Hua Chat, has over 1 billion views on TikTok and 300 million likes. So the engagement ratings are rather high compared to everything else. And the endorsement of, the enticement of popularity and the endorsement of certain content creators can actually motivate us to change how we choose to eat and what we choose to eat. So for example, Hua Chat has only contains fruits and a lot of soda and pop, so that's really bad for you. You definitely shouldn't eat this every day. Maybe you can try this once a month as a light snack. And when you're on the internet, you kind of expect an incredible amount of disinformation and misinformation, so it's best to keep track of how you get your sources and what your sources can actually mean. So for example, one of the examples is cutting back on carbs to lose weight. That is simply not true because then it would be way too easy for us to lose weight. So certain foods like cake and cookies and muffins contain not as much vitamins compared to everything else, not just vitamins, minerals, and fiber. And cutting back on those certain sweet foods is actually a good way to lose your weight if you are looking forward to that. And certain complex food like whole wheat bread, beans, and fruits contain a lot of complex carbs, which are actually great for your health and your gut health. And the second one is certain foods that are, quote, no fat or low fat. You can eat as much as you want without gaining weight. These foods are actually called wonder foods because they contain just as much calories as the original, like the non-no fat ones. So for example, like a granola bar, you will see that actually contains way more sugar, starch, and salt in comparison to the regular versions. So these are actually just some of the common myths, and these myths require a lot of answers. So these are two questions I have your answers to. So number one is what your body really needs. So you need 5 main essential nutrients for your body. So it's vitamins, minerals, fiber, and I forgot the last 2. And pretty much you need to consistently eat these at least 4 times per day out of your entire meal, which I'll talk about later. And you also need to cut back on your processed foods like your junk food, fast food, and certain types of processed food that comes from not a really good place. So these misleading examples shows how complicated navigating the internet is, especially if you aren't careful with your resources. So just keep in mind, not everything you see on the internet is completely true. You have to be mindful of what articles you read and certain organizations you should trust. So credible sources. Like I was saying, when you look at an article, you have to ask yourself these questions. Do they have any grammar mistakes? Do they contain spelling mistakes? Or do they just have a really bad structural format? So when you look at an article first time in forever, is there paragraphs in a straight line in a well-organized manner? If they are missing periods and comma and have basic spelling errors, I don't think you can trust them anymore because that's a major red flag. Also, if they contain biased opinions, old news, or relevancy, that's also another red flag to look out for because when they contain their own personal opinions, that is not a good matter to add on to information-based articles. And if they're irrelevant, then what are you reading? It's not even related to what you searched up. So as you can see, engaging mindfully on social media allows us to explore healthier options and contribute positively to our food culture. So these are organizations that I trust, that I actually use to make this presentation. So we have Dietitian of Canada, Heart and Stroke of Canada, Food Allergy Canada, Health Canada, Canadian Nutrition Society, and ACPN. And over here is a circle graph of all the foods that we should be eating. I'm pretty sure this was said in the last presentation, but this is what an ideal balanced diet should look like. So 40% should be your fruits and your vegetables, 10% should be your fats, 25 and the other 25 should be your fiber-rich carbohydrates and certain proteins. You should have a consistent workout plan, but that doesn't mean you have to exercise every day for a whole week. Make sure to give a break for your muscles and your bones because they rip easily. They can have arthritis. You might have joint tears, muscle pain, a lot of other stuff. You should also try to take a quiz on what kind of body type you are and see how you should format your diet depending on your body type. So for example, if you're an ectomorph, someone who is genetically more skinny and more long, you can handle more carbs in comparison to endomorphs, someone who is genetically more thick and wide. You should also keep in mind that no matter what kind of body type you are, you should have a consistent amount of proteins. Proteins are great for you and everyone should be having a consistent amount. But also keep in mind that everybody works different, everybody have their own personal stories. So be mindful on the internet or in person if someone asks for advice or certain things that they don't know about and you know the answers to it, answer them appropriately and respectfully because this is what helps shape the narrative around a positive food community. And finally, I encourage each and one of you to be mindful of the content you consume and seek credible nutrition advice and contribute to positive feedback loop in our food culture. I believe everyone can make a difference no matter your age, your culture, or race. We can use social media as a way to promote and inspire the younger people, and I believe that we can shape a better community for the future. Thank you.
Well done, Emily. Excellent presentation. There's a lot of information there. I don't know how you can remember all of that. Well done. Yeah, well, a few cards, but yeah, still a lot of content. Excellent. I think your choice of topic is also very smart because we don't realize a lot of the time how much, I think, even subliminal effect, subconscious effect social media has on us. I was wondering, mom and dad here at all? Yeah? Well, we were encouraged, we'd like to encourage you to come as well to the stage and just maybe one or two questions for you. Is that okay, Billy?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. 我有一个16岁的女儿，我也非常担心那个媒体的影响，都是media。你们有没有什么思想啊？就是 how to avoid dangers of that? By the way, I think it was brilliant. I said, you look at the grammar, the writing, how sloppy it is, spelling mistakes. That is very, very correct. Anyways, sorry. 你们有什么思想吗？
就媒体。
我跟我夫人的建议就是时不时的要提醒她，然后大多数情况下，我觉得还是建议他们去不断的尝试，不断的去探索它。也许经过一定的曲折或失败，也许他们才能真正的认识到这个问题的严重性。
刚才说了，我们每个人都有不同的观点，对，还有偏见和价值观点。因为有些人，比如说 ，thanks， 有些人如果有一个 thyroid problem， 他们有些水果也不能吃，对吗？如果有一个肝的问题，有些东西也不能吃，都是我们没有一个你说 one size fits all， 对。好。
Like what works for you doesn't work for everyone else.
Very true. Cool. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Very good presentation.